Welcome back everyone, I'm Kate Plays Games, this is EVE Online, and it's time for us to fit out another cruiser and do some level 2 missions. And the cruiser we're going to be doing today is the Thorax. Here's what the Thorax looks like, and here are its bonuses. Per level of Galenti cruiser skill, you will get 5% bonus to medium hybrid turret damage, and 7.5% bonus to medium hybrid turret tracking speed. So this is high damage, high accuracy. Because remember, these stats are per level, so if you have the maximum level 5, you will get 25% extra damage and 37.5% faster tracking speed, so it's really accurate. Fitting wise, this ship has 5 high power slots and 5 turret slots, so that's that taken care of. 5 turrets is going in the high power slots, 4 medium power slots and 5 low power slots. The usual 3 rigs and 400 calibration, and a decent 50 cubic meter drone bay. If we look in attributes and scroll down to the drones, the drone bandwidth is 50 megabits a second, so this can indeed use medium drones, which is quite nice. But if you put 5 medium drones on this ship, that will be all you can carry. You will not be able to fit 5 medium drones and 5 light drones, because there's only 50 cubic meter capacity. So if you're going to go mediums, it's mediums and mediums only. So let's simulate the ship and get down to work. Now, the last time we did a video on this was 3 years ago, and we did a 200mm railgun sniper fit. So just to be different, today we're going to be doing a very short range blaster punch in the face fit. Now, I normally would not suggest using blasters for player versus environment because they are literally point blank range. And as we know, lots of NPCs have short range weapons. And it also means you've got to travel around between the different groups of enemies to get yourself into range. So this is going to be quite an active micromanaging fit. The first thing we're going to do is go to propulsion and slap on a 50 meganewton restrained microwatt drive. The ship needs to move fast, it needs to get its blasters into range. The speed is 2044 meters a second, which is pretty fast for a cruiser, but the cap only lasts 3 minutes 40 when we're doing that. So then what we'll do, we'll go to engineering equipment, get our old friend large compact cap battery, boom. Okay, so with the microwatt drive running, it's stable with that large cap battery. We may revisit that in a moment. Weapons wise, turrets and launchers, hybrid turrets, blasters, medium. Now, blasters come in 3 flavours, neutron, and neutron are the ones which have the most damage, longest range. Well, longest range for blasters, point blank plus 1 is still point blank. And neutrons are the hardest to fit and have the worst tracking. At the other end of the scale are electrons, who have the least damage, but they are the easiest to fit and have the best tracking and have the least range. As I said, range is not really a consideration because blasters are all point blank range anyway. And ions are the nice middle ground. Medium damage, medium range, medium fitting difficulty. So I think we'll go for ions. And if I remember, the model ions are the best ones. If we click their info and scroll down to the meta level 4 is the best of the tech ones. So we'll try and get 5 of these, which is not going to work, but we can fix that by saying goodbye to the large cap battery and saying hello to a medium cap battery instead. Charges, as we know from previous experience, the difference between the hybrid weapon charges is range and damage. Antimatter being the shortest range, highest damage, and iron being the longest range, lowest damage. Even if we put iron in these things, the fall-off range is only 11 kilometers and the optimal range is 6,000, so why would you do that? Just go antimatter all the way. As I said, blasters are very definitely point-blank range weapons, so that's what we'll be doing with those. The only reason you may want to use slightly different ammunition in this is because of the capacitor use. You see, they all have different cap. Lead is the one that uses the least. Antimatter is the one that uses the most. Thorium is usually quite a good range, a good middle ground between the two. But for now, we'll just leave it antimatter. Okay, tank-wise, we're going to have to get up close and personal to kill things. That means we're going to be under fire for quite a while as we approach at 2,000 meters a second. And it also means that when we're fighting things, we're going to be taking a lot of fire as well. So we're going to need quite a lot of resistances. So we're going to do a reactive armor hardener. And we're going to do a medium armor repairer. And I would actually like to get my resistances up a little higher. We've got lots of CPU left, so what we're going to do, we're going to do an Energized armor resistance membrane. A Multispectrum, we'll get a compact one, just sling that on, just to give us a little bit more resist so we take less damage per hit. And the final 2 low slots will be 2 magnetic field stabilizers to buff the damage of our weapons. Where are magnetic field stabilizer? There we go, 2 of those. Now we've got 2 mid slots to fill and 3 rig slots to fill. So we've done speed and tank and damage. What we need now is damage application. And the way we're going to do that is that we're going to use 2 stasis webifiers on this fit. Boom, just like that. Because these have a range of 10 kilometers and they slow the targets by 55%, and we'll have 2 of them. That does not mean we'll bring everything to a stop, because A, there's stacking penalty involved, so this one will only work 87% effectiveness of this one. And B, this will reduce 100 meters a second down to 45, and the other one will be 55% of 45. They don't add together to bring anything to a halt, but that's pretty close to it. 2 webs is a lot of slowing down. Because our weapons are absolute point blank range, they've got decent tracking, but slowing things to an absolute 0 is really, really good for our fit. Now, one problem we have is that even when the micro warp drive is off, and the guns are on, and the webs are on, and the enduring armor repair is on, the cap only lasts 2 minutes 33. That's not quite good enough, so we're going to have to get at least 1 cap rig on this ship. Cap control circuit will put us up to 3 minutes. Semiconductor memory cell, 3 minutes 21. Alright, semiconductor memory cell it is. Because we're going to be under fire a lot, I also want to get an auxiliary nano pump just to push up the armor repair from 35.2 hit points a second to 40.5. Now we do have a decent amount of CPU left, and we've only got a little bit of power grid left. So I'm thinking maybe we can try putting the large cap battery on and then using a power rig to make it fit. Need 171 units of power. That's quite a lot. Will a Tech 1 rig be enough? No, it will not, but it does put the cap life up to 1603. Whilst I'm thinking about what to do next, I'm going to put on some medium scout drones, and we're going to use Vespas, which are the Caldari ones, simply because we're in Galenti space, so most of the enemies are going to be fighting will be primary or secondary weakest to kinetic. And even if they're not, I'm still going to use the Vespas simply because they've got more shield capacity than anything else. Because we're going to be fighting things up close and personal, and being medium drones, these are going to attract quite a lot of fire. So hopefully their shields will last long enough for me to recon them. Shouldn't be a problem because everything's going to be close range, so the drones should not be too far away from our own ship. Okay, how can we save 68 power grid? We can have a look at dropping down to electron guns, but I don't think that's going to be enough. Model electron. Hey, what do you know? It was enough. Okay. Maybe electrons are the answer. I mean, 418 DPS it's not insignificant, even though it's like the weakest of the blasters. And they've got better turret tracking, just that the range is absolutely appalling. But we knew the range is going to be appalling anyway. So do we even need the ancillary current router anymore, even with the large cap battery? No, we don't. Okay. So then what we can do is maybe look at boosting the damage with a hybrid weapon rig. That's not too bad. If we do a collision accelerator, it pushes us up to 438, which is giving us an extra 20 DPS. Or do we go for the range one? Nah, we'll go for the collision. Why not? 438 DPS. With the guns and the webs and the armor reps all going, the cap lasts 21 minutes, which is more than enough. 2 minutes 42 with everything running, but if you run the micro warp drive for 2 minutes 42 in a straight line going at 2000 meters a second, that's a significant distance. So I think this is how we're going to go with this fit. Is there anything else I would change? We still have a lot of CPU left over, but there's not much else we can do with it. I really did, I mean, we could pump up the damage even more by another 30 DPS, but I think we've got enough damage. Damage is not a problem. Yep, I think that's how we're going to do it. So I'll go and buy this, and then we'll run some level 2 missions. And there we are. That's what the Thorax looks like. And the first mission we have today is the Serpentis Spies. As you can imagine, it's against Serpentis. They are weakest to kinetic and thermal. Well, that's perfect because we're firing hybrid weapons, and all hybrid ammunition is locked to doing a different ratio of kinetic and thermal, and we'll be using kinetic drones, so happy days. It's one system over. We're getting paid 94,000 ISK, with another 96 if we do it within 1 hour and 30 minutes, and 185 loyalty points. 1 hour 30 tells you it's not a difficult mission. So let's accept and see if that's true or not. En route to the mission, I've taken the liberty of putting the drones in a folder and organising all the modules. Again, I'm not going to hide the passive modules because I don't need to and I don't want to. And if I accidentally overheat something and burn out one of these passive modules, I want to be able to see it. Because sometimes you'll notice burnout on active modules because you're using them, and you don't notice it on the passive modules because you've hidden them. That can give you big problems. Before we go into the mission, let's see if I have any skins for this ship, which is best accessed from the show info page because the skins browser on the fitting page is bloody awful. This is the normal skin. Oh, blimey, I've got lots. That's left over from Red vs. Blue. Halcyon Dawn, which is a login. Federation Navy, don't know where that came from. Biosecurity Responders, that's from Project Discovery. That's the one that makes you look like a 1980s toy car. Aspirant Enforcer, that'll do. You get that from the Air Career Programme. There we go. Nice and blue, that'll do. Right, acceleration gate.
Warp drive
that
active.
Means we're going to get dropped off at a predetermined point in space. And just as we fly in, I'll just show you, I have no augmentations on this clone, so this is 0 implants, so it's everything you see is skill based. If you have the same skills as me, you will get the same performance as me. Not very many ships here in this level 2 mission. Let's just approach one. Banzai. I'm not going to turn on the armour repairer until the shields go down because we know that capacitor is a bit of an issue for the ship. Hold control, drag a box, target lock everything. Now they've noticed him here. Right, let's just orbit this guy. Web him. Open fire with the blasters. Not a problem in applying damage to these guys, but that guy didn't even need web, he just exploded. Neither did that guy. This guy might, so we'll just line myself up properly. We have reinforcements, so that's fine. This guy's a little bit out of our weapon range, but as soon as he gets into range, he's going to disintegrate. Well, that was a bit of a screw up. So I'm going to use keep it range just to get myself lined up with these guys properly. There we go. That's more like it. Keep it range, line myself up, turn the webs on, reduce its velocity to almost 0. What I can do, if I right click on one of the columns up here, I can select columns and I'm going to put velocity on. Okay, now we can see what speed the enemies are actually going. This guy is going at 102 meters a second. Now he's going no meters a second because he's dead. Let's get on to the next guy. See, they're going 200 and something because they're on approach. I'll just double click, do some fancy manual flying through this station model. Bounce off it because I wasn't fast enough with the double click. There we are. Again, the hitboxes and things are weird. Some things have giant hitboxes and some don't. Sometimes the hitbox is inside the thing. But in this case, no. Right, so it's going 208 something at the minute, and now it's down to 100. And now 40. And that's why we're able to hit it without any problems at all. Just web this last guy. Blap him. This was a level 2 mission, believe it or not. Let's get out of here.
Warp drive active.
Let's hand this mission in and hope we get something a bit more challenging next time. Smuggler interception. Destroy the convoy and return with the cargo. We need to pick up 10 units of militants with a total cubic volume of 20 cubic meters. We've got over 300 spare in our ship, so that's cool. This system is against the Angel Cartel. They are weakest to explosive, but their secondary weakness is to kinetic, so we're going to be fine. We're getting paid 123,000 ISK and 241 loyalty points for doing this mission, with another 101,000 if we do it within 1 hour and 58 minutes. Let's accept and go and play with the Angels.
Warp drive active.
And because we know we're not cap stable, I'm not going to turn on the tank until the shields go down. Just to maintain the cap a little bit longer. I saw lots of bad guys. Okay, acceleration gate is going to drop us off in the next room at a predetermined point in space.
Warp drive active.
And as we decelerated, we actually passed through the second room and got a sneak peek. And there was a lot of red, including at least one cruiser. Or was it a transport ship? It was a transport ship and a cruiser. Okay. One little lot over here, big lot over here. Let's go for this little lot. Hold control, drag a box, approach, turn the micro warp drive on. Isn't there some destroyers and a couple of cruisers over there? Alright. Oh no, one cruiser, two transports. Like, let's keep this guy at range. I have right clicked that and set it to 3,000 meters. And I've right clicked orbit and set it to 500 meters, which is essentially 0. But that's fine. Okay, we're in range. Let's start shooting. Here we are. Next target. Keep it range. Double web. And shoot. Nice. Next guy. It's very micromanagey, this fit, but that's just how it goes sometimes. Even though this guy is webbed double, we were still missing him until we lined ourselves up. A little bit annoying. There we go. That guy didn't take too much effort. And neither did that guy. Right, let's go for this destroyer next, I think. I'm just going to click keep it range on it. Looks like there's some actual mineable asteroids here. It's rare these days. There you go. We'll just lock up lots of frigates. Spit out the drones, because they can be of use here. Keep that sky at range. Do that and that. Right, the drones are getting to work. Then everything's just exploding and it's difficult to keep track of what's going on. But that's fine. Looks like the drones have killed something else. Okay. That didn't go too badly. Right, let's get rid of the last of the frigates myself before the shields go down. That looks fine. Blap, 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 blap. Cool. The drones have killed one of the transports, so let's keep this cruiser at range. Okay, that's a low shield warning. I'm not going to turn my armor repairer on until the shields actually disappear, if they ever do. And then we're just chewing everything to pieces. And the drones are going to finish this guy off. Wow, that was easy. A lot of micromanaging, but we got there. And there's the militants we need. So let's get out of here.
Warp drive active.
Feldspar, plagioclase, pyroxeres. Alright, there's some actual mining to be had. They missed some missions when they removed all mining from missions. That was obviously one of the ones they missed. Let's complete the mission. How are we doing for time? We'll call it quits here. We've done 2 missions. That was easy. Right, so this fit seems to work really rather well. You just charge it everything, keep it at range or orbit it, put 2 webs to slow them down, and then blow them up with your blasters. Very, very simple and direct. I might not use this fit on level 3 missions. There might be too much incoming damage, but for these level 2s that we ran, it was more than good enough. The shields didn't even go down. So all the work we put into boosting the armor repair and the armor resistances never came into play because we killed everything fast enough that nothing was able to get through the shields. So that was great. So come back next time and we'll build another cruiser and have some more fun. Until then, do look after yourself, and I'll speak to you again very soon.